Good afternoon, and welcome to the Wednesday afternoon conference call with Trusts Unlimited. This is Jim George speaking. I'm the non-attorney spokesman and facilitator for Trusts Unlimited, and I'd like to thank all of you for taking the time to listen to this call, particularly those of you calling in for the first time and those that will be listening to the replay over the next 24 to 48 hours. We like to move quickly through these calls, bottom line the information for you. Ordinarily, our calls would involve discussion of the situation in Iraq, as we believe that Iraqi dinar to be the base currency for the potential reset of some of these other currencies. A few minutes talking about the program we've put in place to assist you, and then we go to a brief Q&A. For the last few weeks, we have dispensed with our normal calls simply because the glut of requests for trusts has been overwhelming, and we've just had to stop the marketing on a week-to-week basis. That will also occur this week. However, we've made the decision that beginning next week, we will resume our regular calls, which will involve a detailed description of the program we've put in place to assist you, and we will be going to a Q&A. But for the benefit of our existing clients and those that are interested in the situation in Iraq, we do continue to discuss the situation as it's developing inside Iraq, and again, because we believe that the Iraqi dinar is the base currency for the potential reset of these other currencies. And there's a lot going on and a lot to discuss in that area. So let's get into that. First, by way of disclaimer, Trusts Unlimited is not the purveyor of the dinar and these other currencies. We're not advocating either the sale or the purchase of these currencies, but as rather substantial currency holders ourselves, we're sharing with you the information that we think is relevant. And of course, the most relevant piece of information would be a window for the reset and reinstitution of the Iraqi dinar. We've had a window most recently between April and May. That window is still possible, but it's not likely. One of the reasons is today is the beginning of the festival of Eid al-Fitr, which is a 10-day commemoration ending the fast of Ramadan. So for nearly the rest of this month, there's going to be that Islamic celebration. So that's another reason why it might be difficult to expect a reinstitution in May, although, again, it is possible. But there is good news, and it's this. While I can't give you a date of a reinstitution, and we can only deal in general windows, nevertheless, Iraq is inching toward the reinstitution and revaluation of their currency. And I'll discuss with you the reasons that we should be optimistic. First, the banks are moving rapidly to transition to a digital system. Now, we all know that this was being done because it was necessary in order for them and their currency, rather, to go global. But there was another underlying reason, and it's this. One of the reasons that the Iraqi dinar was devalued in country was not only so they could collect the remaining balance of the 3-0 provisional currency, but also because the Iraqi people understandably were hoarding currency, and in order to transition to the digital system, they need to collect as much of the hard currency as possible. So this is an indicator that we're moving in the right direction. Now, the major obstacle that remains in Iraq is corruption. And it's not just in Iraq that there's corruption. Generally speaking, those that benefit from the status quo will always fight to retain the status quo. And that's what's happening in Iraq. There are politicians that are skimming, that are making money in the chaos in that country. And that's not unlike the people in this country that are making money on the chaos. Unfortunately, it's just the way of the world. I'll give you an example, though, globally, of how this works. If you're familiar with the term the Five Eyes, there are 5 nations that are part of the Five Eyes. The eye is referring to intelligence agencies. And these 5 countries that are involved in the Five Eyes are the United States, Canada, Great Britain, Australia, and New Zealand. And these agencies are presumably working together cooperatively to accomplish the same objectives. Yet we know that MI6, which is the intelligence agency of Great Britain, equivalent to our CIA, was actually involved in the election of 2016, which of course is a no-no. But we also know that last week, mysteriously, the UK announced that from now on there will be voter identification for their elections. Now, what does that mean? I'll tell you what it means. Because Great Britain is part of the Five Eyes, they were aware of the fact that the Dominion and Smartmatic computer systems utilized in our 2020 election were on the internet, and that people were able to hack into that and flip votes. They saw it themselves. And so what have they done? They're instituting nationwide voter ID. So this tells us a couple of things. This tells us that the corruption is rampant and it's worldwide. And it also tells us the intelligence agencies are well aware of it. But in a backhanded way, this is a good thing. Maybe something bad has to happen before people wake up and realize that there needs to be change. That's true of Iraq, that's true of the United States, and it's true globally. Now, I've gotten a lot of calls recently from people who are concerned that these delays of the reinstitution mean that the reinstitution's never going to happen. I'm going to give you my reasons for why, in my opinion, the reinstitution and revaluation of the dinar are inevitable. First, the international community since 2003 has dumped over $4 trillion into the resurrection of Iraq, and they want their money back. Second, if Iraq should become a failed state, everyone knows what will happen. Iran will summarily annex Iraq and quadruple their ability to do damage in the Middle East and globally, and that cannot be permitted. The third reason is, and in my opinion, Iraq per square mile is absolutely the richest country in the world. They have the second largest known oil reserves. Their oil reserves are the sweetest crude in the world, meaning that Iraqi crude has the lowest sulfur content. Why is that important? It's important because it means the refinement of Iraqi crude can be done quickly and much more cheaply. It also means that 1/3 of the petroleum that has been refined is not used in the combustion engine, but is in fact used in the production of glass, rubber, plastics, textiles, pharmaceuticals, electronics, and nanotechnologies. I've said this before. There is not enough wind and solar in the universe to produce one smartphone. So when you hear a politician go out there and say we have to end fossil fuels and move to green energy, you are listening to either an idiot or a liar. We cannot function without fossil fuels. Now, some will say, yes, but we will eventually run out of this fossil fuel. The reason people are told that is because they are told that petroleum is in fact the decayed remnants of the dinosaur. And the reason they've gotten away with this lie is because a lot of the petroleum is found at the strata where the dinosaurs existed. However, here's the truth, and don't take my word for it. Look it up for yourselves. Oil is, in fact, a renewable mineral. It is not the remnant of dinosaur remains. So the oil and petroleum that comes out of Iraq is critical to the world economy. But Iraq has a an embarrassment of wealth. Because while Iraqi crude has the lowest sulfur content in the world, Iraq also has the largest sulfur reserves in the world. Why is that important? Because those sulfur reserves are used to produce sulfuric acid. Why is that important? Because sulfuric acid is a necessary component in many applications industrially. Then we have the fact that Iraq is located in the Tigris-Euphrates Delta. So for thousands of years, the silt was coming down into that delta. That means that it's rich with precious and industrial metals. And because it's flat ground, it's easily mined. Lastly, we now know, and it was recently announced, that Iraq has 96 tons of gold, meaning that their currency will easily be Basel III compliant and will be very valuable against other global currencies. So for all of these reasons, Iraq is a diamond in the rough in terms of its natural resources. And we're not even getting into its geopolitical position, its geographic position, all of those things. So just be patient. It's only a matter of time. I say it to everyone, live your life, love your family, work hard, keep the lights on, be patient. This is going to happen. And then you're going to pay your taxes. You are going to invest wisely. You're going to provide for yourself and your family. And to the extent possible, make the world a better place with philanthropic endeavors. So be of good cheer. It's coming. It's just going to take a little longer than any of us had wanted. For those of you calling in for the first time, I would suggest you go to our call of March 3rd. On that call was our last complete call that had a lot of information about the product that we have put together, the program we put together to assist you, and in addition, a lot of the post-RV issues that we will be discussing. In order to contact us, you can go to our website, which is trusts with an S, unlimitedllc.com. Our email address is trusts with an S, unlimitedllc@gmail.com. Our phone service is 307-274-4122. If you'd like to listen to a recent conference call playback, particularly the call of March 3rd, you can either go to YouTube and then go to Trusts Unlimited, or you can go to IQD calls and go to Trusts Unlimited, or you can simply dial the same number that you dialed for this live call with the exception of the last number. Rather than dialing a 4, you'll dial a 3, and then use the same access code, which is 739-394-pound. Again, thanks for taking the time to listen to this call. I hope the things that we've discussed here have made you understand that it's just a matter of when, but not if this occurs. And so let's just stay the course, and hopefully we will be in the banks in the not-too-distant future, and then we can all meet face-to-face down in Disney World and discuss what our plans are for the rest of our lives. So thanks for listening. Have a great week, everyone. We'll be back next Wednesday, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Bye-bye, everyone.